This one I'm calling Chasing Rainbows. In the series of 1869, the paper money, the United States, or the legal tender notes, they weren't yet called United States notes, or at least certainly not officially as of yet, took on an extraordinary and rather beautiful look that is called rainbows. What's also not often acknowledged is the fact that these rainbows even extended clear down to the minor denominations that were in print at the time. So I'm going to take it from the bottom and go up. So you can see the 10 cent, not too much of a rainbow on this one, but you can see there's definitely some coloring on the right side. A plain large red seal, and it says fractional currency. Now, these also count as being part of United States notes. First of all, they come from the same act of March 3rd, 1863. That did a lot. They've got Allison and Spinner, as all the other rainbows have. And when you read the back, it's interesting to see that this note is exchangeable for United States notes. Not national banknotes, not gold certificates. Silver certificates, of course, don't exist yet, or any other kind of specialized currency. But they are exchangeable for United States notes by the assistant treasurers and designated depositories of the United States in sums not less than $3. These are receivable in payment of all dues to the United States for less than $5, except customs. So you can't use these for customs. They won't be used for the national debt either, although that doesn't mention that. But the point is, these are exchangeable in United States notes. That ties these to the United States notes, which one and all have the rainbow look. Now, the next thing we have up is the 15 cent, truly unusual denomination. Again, a simple, plain, round treasury seal, red. And so, let's see, and again, Allison and Spinner. And this is the only time that denomination ever was carried in any instrument of the American government. But there it is, exchangeable for United States notes. So that would be the next. And then, here's the next one up. And again, you can see some kind of blue shade rainbowing towards the 25 cent in that side. Again, a plain round treasury seal, always red, and George Washington. And so that too is a rainbow. There it says 25. And finally, this 50 cent. You really get a good rainbow here, how blue it is on one side and clear on the other. And the red seal in this case is smaller, but it still has the rainbow look. As it turns out, not all lower denomination fractional notes, even these same fourth phase type, will have a significant rainbow look. So now we move up into what we normally think of when we think of rainbows. So, we're taking it up from the bottom denomination. Again, this is the $1. And the rainbow part really is mostly towards the top, as you can see. Still, Allison and Spinner. Now, what's kind of distinctive about these rainbow notes is how they say Treasury note at the bottom, not United States note. They still have up here, this note is a legal tender for, and then the amount, in this case, $1. So here's the view. I'm not sure the significance of the vignette. They already had George Washington, so this is the first time George Washington appears on the $1 denomination. The rainbow notes have their own distinctive reverses, different from what will be seen in the later series of the United States notes. But other than that, they're pretty much the same. United States, U.S., and legal tender, and This note is a legal tender at its face value for all debts, public and private, except duties on imports and interest on the public debt. And then a whole bit about counterfeiting. So, as you can see, there's an awful lot of drawing stuff. National Banknote Company. Well, that's it. Until the late 1870s, they were farming out a lot of the printing of their notes to these commercial companies. And the next denomination up is the $2. And again, you kind of got a lot of stuff towards the top and maybe a bit more at the left side where the portrait of Thomas Jefferson is. And here you get it, Act of March 3rd, 1863, engraved and printed at the Treasury Department. But, this note is a legal tender for $2. The United States will pay to bearer $2. So, that's what that is. Where is it? And then, patented 1866. It's interesting, it doesn't say 1869, but these are the 1869. You see the large red seal with the spikes on it. And on the back side, again, this one was made by the American Banknote Company. And it has a lot of the same verbiage about counterfeiting here and about this note is a legal tender at its face value. So, there it is. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't say that it's 1869. Oh, there it is. Series of 1869. Okay. Did it say that somewhere on the $1? Yeah, it did. It's kind of in the cursive writing right in the middle there. Series of 1869. Now let's go up to the next denomination up, which is the $5. And now you're getting more of the bluish kind of shading towards the top, and the red treasury seal, large with spikes, Allison and Spinner. And now at the bottom you've got legal tender for $5, and at the top treasury note. And you got all these little United States fives all over the place. There's Andrew Jackson on a $5 bill. Boy, he kind of bounces around, doesn't he? And active March 3rd, 1863. So, United States of America, again, American banknote. That was a bit about counterfeiting. And over here is this note is a legal tender at its face value. So look at all that hatching there. There's so much. I mean, I can only get so much of it in. Wow. Okay, now the denominations go up. The next one up is the $10. And again, you can see the bluish greenish at the top, the red, the treasury seal, the vignette. I think that's supposed to be the baptism of Pocahontas. But at any rate, whatever that may be. Now we're back to the legal tender for $10, and the treasury note is back at the bottom. The kind of curious irony of saying treasury note is we'll see that phrase on another kind of money on the, what do you call those things? Well, they had them during the 1890s. And they also said treasury note, the coin notes. So those are properly called that. But you see, curiously, that same phrase here. The $10 denomination, of course, is famous for the donkey. There he is, honky, etc. And there it is, series of 1869, a little easier to read there. And here's all this same stuff. And once again, this note is a legal tender at its face value. Okay, for the public debt. And also the usual stuff about counterfeiting. Then, again, National Banknote Company, New York. Interesting. Now, getting up towards the more exciting stuff, you would have the $20. Now it's kind of more of a side-to-side with a big red treasury seal here on this side, close to this portrait of a side view, a portrait of profile Alexander Hamilton, And again, you see series of 1869, though these are still created by the Act of March 3rd, 1863. Okay. And again, the United States will pay to bearer $20. So, again, it's got Treasury note. And see over here, the Register of the Treasury and the Treasurer of the United States. Allison and Spinner, legal tender for $20. So, and again, this is what the reverse of the $20 rainbow looks like. It's got the usual, this note is a legal tender at its face value for all debts, public and private. And it's incredibly elaborate grill work. Okay. So, and then the next one up, now this one is a particularly interesting because most of these notes, after the 1869 series is done and you get into the 1870 and 1880 series, the coloration is gone, but the overall pattern is mostly the same. Same vignettes, same presidents, same lettering positions pretty much, but there will be some slight differences too, but very slight. You get to the $50, it's a whole different person than you get on the $50 when we get to the 1870s. Indeed, this particular look with Henry Clay, in case you're wondering who that is, on the front of the $50. Again, there's this kind of bluish there between the portrait and the red, big red seal. Again, it's got points are there, kind of hard to see, but they're there. Series of 1869, the United States will pay to bearer $50. So legal tender for $50. Still says Treasury note. Now, let's take a look at the other side. And you can see the $50. Again, it's the same thing. United States of America. Still printed by the American Banknote Company. And this note is a legal tender. So that's what this is. Wow. Looks like a image there, but it looks like we can't pull it in when it's that close. Anyway, now there were higher denominations, and I regret that I cannot provide real pictures of the higher denominations of the rainbow notes. So my only recourse, really, I haven't even been able to find simulated notes, so I must make do with just showing them in the book, and I feel bad about that, but what can I do? So now there was our 50, what it looks like, and you could see after that the 50 has a whole different look with Benjamin Franklin. The $100 will look like this, so it would have Abraham Lincoln on it and its distinctive back. The $500 will have this look. Now this is interesting. It's got, what is this, Quincy Adams? Yes, President Quincy Adams, and so forth, and its own distinctive back. And interestingly enough, the 500 does the same thing that only the $50 does, which is to say, when it comes to the regular $500, what few there are to be printed after that, you've got different people, different vignette. It's just a whole different look. So the 50 and the 500 do that. And then the highest denomination for rainbows was the 1000, and that's the headache note. As you can see, that same pattern is contained without all the rainbow colors thereafter. But it looks the same, and it has this other distinctive reverse for its denomination. So I'm sorry, this is from our book Paper Money by Arthur and Ira Friedberg. So that is our rainbows, and it's been an adventure just trying to obtain this set. That's why I say this has been a time for what I call chasing rainbows. Thanks for listening.